guys, and welcome to your March reading. So I had to stop the recording that I had already started for you when Tiger, my dog, started to bark like crazy. So it was a matter of a raccoon that was crossing in the backyard. You can still hear him, still dressing. Usually they don't come out during the daylight unless they have babies and they want to feed them, but Mr. Tiger had a complete mohawk about that, which means he gets really excited. So it's kind of like really amazing how their world looks like. And as you know, I don't read cards. Cards are simply to me a crutch that I can kind of give you a story and give you kind of like the dots that I try to connect for you, right? But usually I take everything else in account. Tiger is barking. There's like some kind of like a vision of something that he feels is kind of like moving that equilibrium. So you have two jumpers. One is like Knave of Cups or Page of Cups, and one is like Two of Cups reversed. So there is the flirting, but there is like, it's interesting that we have the full moon here. So maybe you have somebody, or you will be kind of, I don't know, I'm seeing this situation where something starts really well and somebody disappears. That's kind of like what I'm seeing. I'm also seeing this is connecting to the full moon. We are going through the full moon in Libra, in Virgo this month. Next month we'll be going through your transition. We'll be going through the full moon in Libra. That usually happens that we tend to be very triggered. I'm born in the sign of Aquarius, but during the full moon transit of Leo, which always for life is going to, I'll be settled with, will be very difficult to make decisions, because I will always be torn between what is the right thing to do and what is the thing that I really want, right? So this is something similar. This is about flirting. This is about excitement. This is about, you know, eyelash batting and your heart going faster and butterflies in the stomach. But then there's like somebody who doesn't take it further for one reason or another. So let's see how that's going to connect with the rest of the reading. And keep in mind that this full moon on the 9th that we are dealing with is dealing with self-esteem issues, and you're one of the strongest signs in that respect. You really, that's it. That is your card coming through, and oh my God. And it's also the next one, the Hierophant. So we have the Emperor, the Hierophant. We also have Four of Pentacles. There's like somebody who is protecting themselves. There's like clearly need to stabilize certain situation, to control certain situation through application of rules, application of contracts, and application of agreements, right? It's going to take a little bit more than just like, let's kind of like roll up our sleeves and get to it, which is usually your approach. It's maybe longer, it's maybe a little bit more stressful, and you're going to also feel that somebody's not necessarily cooperating with his Four of Pentacles. This little dude, he's like sitting on his box of toys instead of playing with them. They're useless if you really think like when they are basically being presented this way. It is only when we kind of like engage, and this person maybe has gone through a situation where he or she has been hurt, or he or she has some severe trigger points which you don't have, and hence you're saying, never mind, I can continue with this. But the other person is saying, well, you know, I have to do it on my time and with my pace, with what I can. So I can see that, you know, you're going to feel that kind of like the progress is stalled for one reason or another. But look at that. But after all, it might actually work out. So you might go in one of those situations that somebody you're dealing with is overly emotional. Look at this. You have the Queen of Cups, but I usually go to the first major when I look at the bottom, and this is Strength. And then now Two of Cups is upright. So it almost looks like that maybe there is like this debate how to do things and how to move forward, and you get to this like, I mean, you know, impasse, and then maybe two people walk away or one person disappears. But these actually tell me about commitment. These actually tell me about things working well. In fact, even possibly somebody kind of like kneeling down and proposing, I really have to say, because we also had a Hierophant before, which to me it's also a marriage card. So put that in perspective. Maybe somebody, maybe you guys are already in a relationship that has to go that way, and somebody is saying, sure, I want to, and then they freak out. There's a normal thing to have these freakouts before something really serious like that happening. But then they compose themselves and they come back. And this could be you as well. So just keep that in mind. Do not give up on people this month. They might be doing some weird crap. And you need to be really, really open-minded in order to kind of continue forward. You have the Empress. She's reversed. It could be somebody who is like really whiny in attitude, right? And that can also apply to those of you guys who are basically married, who are born in a March part of Aries. Aries is really good in nurturing card, just like the Queen of Cups that I have noticed hiding over here. She's like 10 times that, or 100 times that if you wish, but she's also 100 times more whiny when she reverses. So there is like some kind of attitude adjustment that somebody needs over here, and it could be emotional manipulation of some sort. Somebody wants to get something and they're going to use freaking any mean to get there. Look at that. It could be something love related. You have the Lover's card over here. So it's either you, but it doesn't have to be you. It could be on the other side that's happening, that somebody wants things to resolve on their own terms. And we do know that when you are like full in love, that you will allow the other person anything, you know, like you will roll over, allow them to see your underbelly, and you're going to expose your weaknesses. Some people are unscrupulous that way, and they really take advantage of that situation and demand for so much more for themselves instead of thinking like you, which is always how do we all benefit out of it. But this positive attitude over here is really important. That's kind of like, it's clearly showing over here, and these two cards very rarely show up together in the reading, and this is all coupled with strength. And not to forget that you also had the Hierophant coming through together. So I think this also can connect with you being able to understand the true needs and true inclinations of whoever you're dealing with, in spite of them being in extremely whiny and needy situation, but needy without being able to properly communicate, needy without being able to come halfway, and that can be very difficult. Look, you have Karma card in the background. This could be really about making some legal decisions, making marriage decisions, making living arrangements, maybe moving in with someone. Maybe this also means about that somebody needs to divorce in order to kind of like push things forward. And maybe somebody feels neglected in the situation. Generally, when this card shows up, it's really good news when it's upright, which means things are balancing out. You're still getting a little bit of it, that you're kind of like feeling it, but that's because of this Mercury retrograde that's going to last until the 10th. And also with Venus, with Virgo full moon that is going through your transition. So 9th and 10th for you might be a little bit tricky. Be careful what you say. It's going to need some kind of diplomacy, because this is also a card of diplomacy. It's a card of compromise. And even if you think somebody's just freaking too much at a stage, I think you're going to wiggle through the situation quite nicely. And also you have Magician. This is Mr. Mercury, but he's coming upright, so he's telling us it's really interesting. You have 1 1 and 1 1 1 1. So clearly you have angels in the process. They're here for you. They are there to guide you. There's like something going on. Like, look at this. You have 5 major arcana. There's something really big going on. And when Magician shows up, he's almost like you. Even though he's basically air, he's Mercury, he's saying, I can do anything, just name it, anything. So it's something that is really music to your ears. You like that kind of action. You like this kind of like adventure. And so you're out for this adventure. I guess almost like I'm feeling Aries is ramping up. Like it's my time coming. Like, and you're literally looking for that 23rd, 22nd when we are moving into Aries kind of like shift. there is like also a really good card. What is above you? It's like Seven of Pentacles. Seven of Pentacles is always talking about process, and this process has started and the process is continuing, and yes, you're on the right path. Maybe some adjustments need to be made about how, but not about what. So it's kind of like really direction where so far so good. It's only one person that is in a way. For some of you it's you, for the others it could be somebody you're dealing with. This also actually can represent mother, just to let you know. So you're going to get to some stage where you're going to feel tired. You're going to feel, oh my God, I just need to get home. I need to sleep. I need to disconnect this phone. I'm not tuning into the internet. Everybody buzz off. This can be also digital detox, because remember what I said, we are dealing with full moon in Virgo. Virgo is really talking about what is healthy, what is unhealthy for us. Maybe you have been stretched on too many sides. What is the digital detox? Getting all these messages happening all the freaking time. I shut them all off on my phone, and all of a sudden I did manage to find more time to focus. That was the biggest problem. Like every 2 seconds something was coming in and sending you on a wild goose chase. For a sign like yours, that can be very kind of like detrimental to how much you achieve. So this is clearly talking about that you're going to need to reassess some peace. And it's also interesting, 7 and 4 is 11. So this is now balancing this thing. So things are working out. I also feel you're coming up with some interesting projects, some interesting financial investments, as well as ideas for the business that can actually really work very well. So this is your house, and then you have 5 of Pentacles. I think this is not the greatest card, right? It's like us against the world, but this is also the card that tells me, yes, there is us. There is like 2 of you, and maybe things still didn't kind of like go all the way. Like you have 7 over here, right? So you have a 6, you have 7, but nonetheless, you are understanding who is on your side and who is not on your side, right? So sometimes this card also tells me that this can actually be about some endeavor that you want to do, and that endeavor is maybe needing more funds that you are able to have, that you're having, or that you can collect. It's making you feel a little bit kind of left out, or I'm missing a good opportunity of some sort. This can also sometimes indicate, remember how I said, this full moon in Virgo is going to affect your self-esteem. You might feel, hey, I can do better than I'm doing, and it can give you and put you for a few days in a kind of like a little funk. For most people, it's going to be the 9th and 10th this month. It's going to feel weird. For you, it's going to come a little bit before. So this week, the first week of March, might be a little bit tricky. But this is your environment. You have the star reversed. And maybe you're dealing with somebody or some situation that is like a little bit hopeless. And I'm really sad to say this, and I hope it's nobody who is really near and dear to you, because when I connect the Hierophant that you had in Justice and the star reversed, it could mean somebody passing, right? And it would make sense that you're going to have some severe expense that you really need to go through. Could be somebody's at the hospital because, again, full moon Virgo, and something is really acting up. I do have to warn you, more than any other sign, this coronavirus that is out there might be affecting you or the close to you. It's very easy to kind of like combat this. They're saying masks don't work. Don't believe them. Just use your common sense. Doctors and nurses are using them. Get one, and you don't have to get the clinical one. N95 is the best, which is a clinical one. But you know, you can also get one of those workers' masks for the dust accumulation. The trick is that it has to be almost sealed around your nose and around your chin so the things don't come in. Another thing, very simple trick, is like, besides washing your hands all the time, I have a Kleenex and I grab the handles and everything with a Kleenex, so that way I minimize the spaces that you would touch with your hand. This bothers me a little bit because it's telling me that you're straying away from your path a little bit, or somebody or some issue is pushing you in that direction. And hopes and fears, it's not much to worry about. It is all in communication. You are going to know what and when. This is connecting with the magician and how to go about that. It's all working out. And you know what? Whatever this is not going to be as critical as I thought it would be. It's going to be just simply, as they call it, flying the ointment. You need to remove certain things, and there's like certain things in the way, and there's like something that is easily actually crossed. So I don't really think that you guys have any big worries. Other than you'll be tired, you'll be exhausted. It will be lots of people who will be pulling you by your sleeve and wanting something from you. You'll be everything to everybody. So this is like some really, really high level month. But nonetheless, it's going to make you feel very alive. It's going to make you feel really, really wanted. I have pulled one more card for you. I want to see where this is going to fit, and it's perseverance. And I really think this is going over here, and it's clarifying this little corner over here, like what is like I intimately need and want, and what is being offered over here. This is really talking about a budding actress or singer, and she did get this cape or scarf from a very, very famous actress. As you can see, it's all full of holes. It's already worn out because that was like to how many auditions she went to, because she also wanted to be famous. But she got to the point where, you know, she just felt, you know, I'm throwing this cloak off, I'm throwing this away, and I'm just not going to succeed. But a goddess comes to her and whispers, hey, you know, just around the corner, if you persevere, is great success. But she does not continue. It's really interesting because she's in this red and oranges, the colors that are really close to you. It is really talking about this life energy, which I see here. It's kind of like drained from these things. So it is really talking about choices, which is also this card over here, where you need to ask yourself if you're serving the highest order. Because this is what happens when we are continuing on a path that we choose. If we stop, then we upset this balance, which is really showing up here and here, right? So keep that in mind. Now, what also you work toward will materialize, and you might not see it. Just like in the Knight of Swords, it's kind of like you see part of the road, but you're pretty certain that when you get to this end of the part that you see, that's going to be the next one you'll be able to handle, right? So, but it lies ahead. You know that you're heading somewhere, right? So you might get sidetracked this month. You might have some kind of like feelings or somebody else's feelings, and it could be simple that you're dealing with a boyfriend or a girlfriend and somebody going through something, and you are being their shoulder, you're being their strength this particular month, right? But you need to persevere. This is only a fly in the ointment, guys. So it's breakthrough. You're going to get unseen help. Don't forget that you need to ask for it, but you also are able to deliver whatever you need to deliver. Some of you might feel a little bit taken for granted, but you're going to take a mental note and go to say, I'll talk about it later, kind of a thing. But overall, this is about success. This is about overcoming doubts, and you guys just keep going. Things are going to work out. It's still the process, but you will know for sure that you're on the right path. So my dear Aries, don't forget to check also your ascendant and your moon sign in addition to your sun sign. If you want me to look your personal reading, please either contact me via email, it's all in the description, or via my website, cattarot.ca. I wish you a wonderful month. I would love to hear from you. I read all the comments, love to hear from you, and you know that I love you, and I wish you all the best.